Welcome to the Spectator's Spooky Tales. So, sit back, relax and allow the silence to fill your abode. Now, open your eyes. Story 1. I walked down this dark road destined to get home. My kid brother was with me, for I dared not walk alone. For country roads harbored mysteries and secrets. Some things one dared not to question but act discreetly. That night was hot, for it was the summer season. Yet the road was quiet and desolate, void of people. I must tell the story of my experience on that dreadful night, when death decided to manifest himself in an area void of light. So come and travel with me down memory lane. I can assure you that you will not be the same. The moon was full and served as an omen that something dreadful was hiding in the woodland. A melody of a tune echoed through the passing wind. Whispers and moans were heard again and again. What was that? Who could it be? Was something following my brother and me? I wish we could turn around and go another route. For in this place animals and criminals would just jump out, robbing and assaulting people just to strike fear. Little did they know that death was drawing near. The darkness of night crept in like a predator to its prey. I heard strange sounds emanating from the woods as we walked the eerie pathway. I was anxious the more to get home, and we moved in haste. We were unsure what we will encounter or who we would face. For on dark roads was where evil spirits dwell. The dead often follow you, thinking that they could avoid hell. Some did not know that they were dead and were worried. And some knew but wanted someone to tell their story. There was a cemetery on this road that everyone feared. It was even dark during the day and no one would draw near. For villains, murderers and witches were buried there. It was not a final resting place but a place of despair. My brother and I heard so many things about the burial ground, so we were alert. We saw that we were drawing near to the place of the dead and we didn't want to get hurt. We purposed in our hearts to walk fast and not look into the darkness. Then we heard a beckoning voice calling out to us. "Hey little boys, come here. Hey little boys, come here.
Hey little boys, come here.
Hey little boys, come here,"
is the only thing we heard. We ran as fast as we could, hoping that there was no chase. The farther we ran, the voice faded away. We made it home safe and told our mother what happened. She said, "That is why you come home before dark and not after. The dead are unrest, but evil lurks there too. It calls out to the living. It will summon you." From that experience, my brother and I came home before dark. We did not want to encounter again the entity in that spot. Yet some people travel that way and are now amiss. Maybe they followed the voice and entered the abyss. This is a poem but a true story that happened to a man and his brother who lived in a southern rural area of South Carolina. It was the late 1940s or early 1950s when this occurred. Y'all be safe out there.
Story 2. Archie and Rosie Nelson noticed that their neighbor, Nadine Thornton Phelps, had not been seen in a week. Whenever they wanted to inquire about her well-being, her husband Brian appeared to always be in a hurry. He was employed as the manager at Spectral Nations Bank. However, he was not satisfied with his job. He often voiced his complaint to his wife, Nadine. He was really annoyed because her father owned the bank, she inherited it, and Brian was not a beneficiary. The neighbors saw who they thought was Nadine, but the person looked different. What was Brian doing? Who was the other woman? What happened to Nadine? Their hands were tied because they were just his neighbors. They didn't want to report Nadine as a missing person, and she may be in the house. Perhaps she was sick with the flu or just didn't want to come outside. The Nelsons were careful, but they did alert their son that Nadine Phelps had not been seen in a week. Their son told them that as concerned citizens, they can report her as missing. However, they first have to establish that Nadine Phelps is indeed a missing person. Brian Phelps and Nadine Thornton met at a marathon that each participated in every year. They enjoyed each other's company, and from there, they dated for 3 months before getting married. Brian had to sign a prenuptial agreement before he married Nadine. However, she assured him that he would be taken care of. Brian felt that she was not taking care of him like he thought she should. He often complained to her that he was not satisfied. Nadine did everything she could to make her husband happy. She bought him clothes, shoes, lavished him with more money, gave him a raise which made him the manager of one of the banks, and she took him on luxury vacations. However, Brian was adamant that he felt insignificant. He wanted his share in the inheritance, but his wife would not allow that to happen. Nadine was so distraught by Brian's attitude. She called her sister Nina and explained to her what was going on in her marriage. Now Nina was considered Nadine's half-sister. She was the product of an affair that Nadine's father had with her mother. She worked at You Pet Your Life as a veterinarian. She struggled while attending college. She received no support from her father. Unfortunately, he did not leave Nina an inheritance. Although she looked like Nadine, he felt that Nina may be another man's child. Nina was distraught to know that her father did not add her as an heir. Nadine received everything. Feeling sorry for Nina, Nadine gave her money and made her the beneficiary of her estate. With Nadine having problems with her husband, she called Nina and told her of her troubled marriage. Nina voiced her opinion.
Are you sure that he is not having an affair on you? His attitude is rather suspicious.
Nadine responded with denial of her faithful husband being with another woman.
I don't know, Nina. I mean, I trust him. He has no reason to cheat, but I don't know what's going on with him.
Nina wanted Nadine to get to the bottom of her husband's odd behavior. She pressed her to pursue an investigation.
Maybe you should hire a private investigator or something. No. I don't want no one spying on Brian. If he's cheating on me, I'll eventually find out. Well, how about I come for a visit? It's been a while since we have spent time together. We can get away and go to Kaufman's Bluff. Nina, that would be great. I'm looking forward to seeing you. I will make a lot of plans for us. Let me know the time of your flight and I will pick you up. Definitely, big sister. Well, I'd better go. I have a meeting in an hour. I'll call you later, Nadine. Okay.
Nadine was so glad that Nina was willing to go on a vacation with her. As time progressed, Brian became more distant. It was only when he had a desire to be a chef that his attitude changed for the better. He enrolled in an online culinary school. One of the requirements was that he recorded himself preparing a dish. He complied by cooking meals and sharing it with friends and some of the people at the bank. Then one evening, he prepared a candlelight dinner for Nadine. He cooked beef stew with red wine, spinach salad, yeast rolls, and champagne. Nadine was so inspired. She felt that her marriage was reviving. When she approached the table, Brian pulled the chair out and she sat. He sat down in a chair across from her. He smiled as she admired the food. He poured champagne in their glasses.
Brian, honey, you outdid yourself. The food looks delicious.
Thank you, my love. I've been working on this just about all day. I wanted to make sure that it was just right.
You did a great job. I appreciate this, Brian. I appreciate you.
Let's toast, Nadine.
Okay, darling.
To love and good food.
He raised his glass, and Nadine raised her glass too. She said,
Cheers.
They sipped champagne and Brian captivated Nadine with the delicious food and his romantic gestures. After dinner, they shared an intimate moment in which Nadine started feeling extremely tired. She did not want her husband to assume that she was considering the moment to be boring. Yet, she felt so tired, her stomach hurt, and she felt nauseated. She closed her eyes. When she awakened, she found herself in a beautiful bedroom. She saw that she was in a hospital bed, and someone had placed her on a ventilator. She was receiving fluids intravenously, and a monitor was attached to her arm for observation of her vital signs. Someone was taking care of her, but who? This is not a hospital. Suddenly, her door opened, and a man walked into the room. He was handsome and had a stare that could melt ice.
You're up. Good.
He looked at the ventilator machine and then back at Nadine. Then he raised the head of the bed.
Nadine Phelps, I will explain everything to you. My name is Dale, and I'm going to remove the tube because it looks like you will be able to breathe on your own. I will have to increase your concentration rate only for a moment just before removing the tube. This is to ensure that you still will receive oxygen while I began the process of weaning you off of the machine. Is that okay with you?
Nadine nodded as a show of agreement.
I need you to take some deep breaths, Mrs. Phelps.
The man got the necessary items to assist and performed the procedure to extubate the endotracheal tube. After removing the tube, he advised her to cough. Nadine coughed, and then he used suction to remove the excess secretion from her mouth. Next, he utilized a nasal cannula to help Nadine to adjust to breathing without the ventilator. Plus, he knew that she had questions. Nadine narrowed her eyes at the stranger. She was confused.
Who are you? What is this place?
My name is Dale, and I'm your lifesaver.
What do you mean you're my lifesaver?
You died and your body was placed in the morgue. Then you were taken to a funeral home. You had a faint pulse, but your husband wanted to bury you right away. In instances like that, oftentimes the person is buried as is and no internal organs are removed. You are a fortunate lady.
I died. What?
Yes. I attended your funeral. I went inside the funeral home, dressed you, and administered a dose of medicine that will make you appear unalive. Really, you were sleeping. Nightfall, when the cemetery was closed, I came back, dug up your grave and removed your body.
You did what?
It is as I said. Mrs. Phelps, if I hadn't, you would have been buried alive.
I'm confused. Why did you do that? Why did you help me? Do you want money?
Is that all you can think of? Look around. Do it look like I need your money? Trust me. I am well off.
I'm sorry. I should be thanking you. Thank you, sir.
You can call me Dale.
Okay. Dale, are you a nurse? Or a doctor?
He chuckled a little.
I'm a doctor, Mrs. Phelps. I'm a medical examiner and an on-call surgeon.
You can call me Nadine.
Okay. Are you hungry, Nadine?
No. I'm still trying to process all of this.
Well, Nadine, I have some good news and some bad news.
Okay. Tell me.
The good news is you're alive. The bad news is someone tried to unalive you.
Who? Tell me. Tell me now.
I think that it would be better that I show you.
Dale left the room and then returned with an envelope. Then he gave it to Nadine.
For your viewing.
Nadine opened the envelope and saw that pictures were inside. She removed the photos, and to her surprise she saw her sister Nina and Brian together. They were not acting like in-laws but lovers. She gasped and commenced to crying. Dale gently took the pictures from her.
I know that you're hurt. Nina and I were engaged to be married, but I guess I wasn't enough for her. I loved her and wanted to give her a good life. I felt that she was cheating on me, so I hired a private investigator. How do you think I felt when I found out that she was cheating on me and with her sister's husband?
This is unbelievable. My husband is cheating on me with my sister. I should confront them.
Knowing that you're alive will make them come up with a more elaborate plan to get rid of you for good. Evil men and women like that will order outside help, just to take you out and keep their fingers clean.
They are living in my house because I left everything to my sister. She is my beneficiary. I left her everything.
Well, that's why Nina and your husband wanted you gone. She just don't know that he may eventually do her the same way.
Nadine was panicking. She trusted Nina and she did the ultimate betrayal.
I have to go to reclaim what's mine.
Dale knew that Nadine was hurt and she wanted revenge. He wanted to help her, but she had to stay focused.
If you trust me, I will help you.
In the meantime, Brian and Nina are miles away from home eating breakfast in a hotel room. They are celebrating, assuming that Nadine is no longer existing.
How did you do it, Brian?
Why?
I want to know.
Well, that stuff that you gave me from the medication dispensary on your job was very helpful. I put it in her glass of champagne. I felt bad because she trusted me.
Nina was becoming annoyed. She did not feel bad that she was part of the reason for her sister's death.
She's gone. Right?
Yeah, and because of me.
Brian, stop it. You didn't want to be with her anymore. You made plans to divorce her anyway. Now we're together and there's nothing nobody can do.
Suddenly, Brian's cell phone rang. He put down his glass and looked as if he heard some bad news. He hung up the phone and put his hands to his face. Nina noticed the look of panic on Brian's face.
Baby, what's wrong? Brian? What's the matter?
That was the manager of the cemetery.
Okay, and what did he want?
He said that Nadine's grave has been excavated, and her coffin was left open. There was nobody inside.
What? Is he sure about this?
Yeah. He wants me to come down to the cemetery so I could see for myself.
Somebody probably just stole the body. You know there are grave robbers that will take bodies. Why don't you just relax?
Nina, stop. Stop it, alright. Don't tell me to relax. I can't relax.
Brian, you need to calm down. I am not the enemy here. Everything will be okay.
I'm going to that graveyard to see for myself. I unalived my wife, and I want to know who else is aware of it.
Do you know how long a drive that is? It is a long drive.
I don't care, Nina. I know that it will be nightfall by the time we get there, but I'm going to the cemetery to check it out myself.
You're going to the cemetery at night and while it's closed. Are you sure about this?
Yes, I am. I want to see for myself so I can figure out what's going on. Let's go. Now.
Brian and Nina boarded the car together, in which both of them were anxious and angry. Nina was concerned about how fast Brian was driving.
Brian, you need to slow down. You can get a ticket or worse, get us into an accident.
Okay, Nina. You're right.
Brian adhered to the speed limit. However, once they made it back to town, it was 6 p.m. and the gate was open. They saw a car, so they assumed that the manager was in the office. They approached the building, and when they reached the door, they knocked. No one came to the door, and some areas of the building was dark. Nina spoke up.
Maybe somebody left their car here or they're driving around to make sure that the visitors are gone. They have to do that before they lock the gate.
Well, let's go look for them.
Are you serious, Brian?
Yes, I am. Do you want to go to jail?
No.
Then shut up and come on.
Nina did not like how Brian was talking to her. She began to have regrets. She knew that if they were arrested, Brian would place all the blame on her. She did steal from the veterinary where she is employed. They got back in the car and Brian proceeded to drive through the cemetery. They got further in and they heard the revving of an engine, but they saw no car. Brian continued to drive, but he was alert. No matter how far they drove, they heard the revving of that car engine, but they still did not see a car. Suddenly, there were bright lights, and someone was racing towards their car. Brian blew the horn alerting the person to slow down. However, the person drove top speed and hit their car. The car spanned and hit a tree. Both Brian and Nina got out of the car. They are confused as they watched a black truck speeding away.
I'm calling the police.
No, Brian. You can't do that. We are in a closed cemetery. Let's just leave the car and get out of here.
Whoever that was ruined my car. This seems like a setup.
Baby, let's get out of here. I'm scared.
They walked through the cemetery, but the gate was now closed. The car that was outside of the administration building was gone. Nina began to panic. It became so cold and misty. Then they heard the sound of the great horned owls. The eerie hoot sounds almost human-like, as if they were alerting each other that there were two that shouldn't be there.
Oh, my God. We need to get out of here.
Calm down. We'll get out of here. Look, the back gate is still open.
It's dark back there. Brian, I don't know about this.
Come on. We are going this way. I just want to get out of here. That manager will hear from me in the morning.
Brian and Nina opened the back gate. It creaked as they opened it further, and a broken lock hung from the latch of the gate. The couple walked through and found themselves on a dark, deserted road. As they walked a few steps down the what seemed to be abandoned road, they could hear the crunching of leaves behind them. No one was there. The wind blew a foreboding tune that made the atmosphere so eerie. It was so dark that neither one of them could see beyond a few feet. No animal was heard. It was complete silence, yet fear gripped the hearts of Brian and Nina.
Brian, I think that we were better off in the cemetery.
I agree. Let's go back inside.
All of a sudden, they could not find the gate, and a fog developed as a mist emerged from the earth. As Brian and Nina walked down the road, each of them tried to use their phones, but they had no cell service. They located another entrance back into the graveyard, but the area was darker. This darkness was abnormal because one could feel the darkness exuding from the woods. Someone was on that road with them. They couldn't see it, but they could sense the evil.
Brian, I'm scared. I feel that we are being watched.
I feel it too. Let's keep walking. There has to be a way off this road.
Brian and Nina noticed that they were at the back of the graveyard, and they noticed their car. Somehow they found another entrance. They entered, and alarmingly, the entrance disappeared.
Something is not right. This night, this cemetery, the phone call is all wrong.
I know, Brian, but can we keep walking so we could get out of this place?
They continued to walk. However, Brian and Nina realized something. They are but a few feet from where Nadine was buried. They rushed to her burial plot and saw that it was indeed excavated. Her coffin is open and empty. Then they started to hearing more strange sounds. They tried to leave several times. Each time they found the entrance. Yet, they would always find their way back to the burial site.
Something is wrong, Nina.
I know. We are walking in circles.
Abruptly, they hear the revving of an engine. A person dressed in black runs towards the couple and pushes them down into the grave of Nadine Phelps. Nina and Brian looked up and saw Nadine looking down at them. They called out to her, but it was too late. An unknown person uses a crane to seal the vault in which faithful wife and kind sister once laid. Nadine walked away and got into the black truck in which Dale was driving. They drove away. An unknown person parked the crane machine in its proper place and drove away. Who was the unknown person? No one will ever know. Therefore, the screams and cries of Brian and Nina will never be heard, but the burial plot of Nadine Phelps is occupied. Never will it be excavated. Meanwhile, in the same cemetery, a woman's hand with black painted fingernails emerged from the ground. Suddenly, a beautiful woman with red eyes and anger on her face emerged from the ground with a determination for revenge. She points her finger to make a statement.
You know who you are. You know what you did. I am coming for you. That is a promise.
Story 3. The location of this place will not be given to protect the family and the burial sites where these events occurred. A mother was terminal, and her time was drawing near. She called for her children because she wanted to make it clear. Bury me in the Cloverland Cemetery on Mulberry Road. Do not bury me in another place because I will know. Then the woman died, and her family mourned. They waited a few days before they had her funeral. Yet instead of burying their mother in the Cloverland Cemetery, they buried her in the small town of Woodbury. The woman's children felt that this site was more appropriate, for the burial grounds in Woodbury were clean and free from overgrowth. Maintenance of the graveyard displayed a serene and arranged resting place. Yet the decedent was not happy where her body was laid. From beyond the realm of the dead, the mother would show a display by causing an odd occurrence to surface every single day. One morning the caretaker was inspecting the grounds of the Woodbury Cemetery. Then he witnessed an anomaly so profound and scary. A coffin had emerged from the closed cemetery vault. The caretaker searched to see if robbers were possibly at fault. Yet as he drew closer he saw that the lid of the vault was ajar. The coffin was that of the recently buried mother. The caretaker and 2 others placed the coffin once again in the ground vault and replaced the damaged lid. The area was managed to its proper state. Hopefully, the odd event was just a probable mistake. The other caretakers may have been too busy and made an error by forgetting to properly close the vault plus lower the coffin. However, the next morning the men saw that the ground was dug up. The vault was open, and the coffin resurfaced. No matter how the caretaker tried to prevent the strange event every day, the eerie anomaly would haunt them by recurring the same way. A sexton notified the family about the unusual occurrence. However, the woman's children assumed it was all nonsense. Her children arrived at the cemetery to assess the strange matter. It never occurred to them that their mother was very unhappy, as attempts were made to move the coffin to another plot. The coffin would later resurface from the vault. Finally, the woman's children remembered their mother's request. They were ashamed for not honoring what she felt was best. Therefore, they made the hasty task of having her coffin exhumed. To the Cloverland Cemetery on Mulberry Road is where it was moved. Surely, beyond doubt, their mother will be happy at last. They were able to purchase a new burial plot fast. After burying their mother in the cemetery of her choice, the grave site was no longer disturbed, for she made her point. The mother was at peace with her decision to convince her children to carry out her final wishes. This is a true story that occurred decades ago in a small town in the state of South Carolina. Story 4. Felicity Holmes, also known as Kuda, was a member of the Pyro Unit. They were a girl gang known for setting fires at crime scenes because no evidence supposed to be left behind. Felicity has seen a lot of crimes that had taken place which did not make any sense. She also participated in acts of violence. The leader of the Pyro Unit was Remy, a former female boxer and track runner. After being set up by friends and assaulted, she became a bitter woman. The hurt and betrayal that she felt made her a vicious and heartless female. Remy established a support group that many women had joined. These women were victimized too. Then the support group became the Pyro Unit, or what others called the Fire Girls. Remy's sidekicks were Piper, also known as Ghost, because she knew how to enter a house undetected. Then there was Rowan, also known as Wind, because you never know where she will show up. These two women were more ruthless than anyone could imagine. Felicity, who everyone called Kuda, which was short for Barracuda, was growing weary from committing crimes just about every day. People in the neighborhood feared them and held allegiance to the pyro unit. Therefore, if Kuda wanted to just walk away, it would be difficult. Remy had confidential informants that stayed abreast with the streets. If anyone is doing anything against the pyro unit or the code will be severely dealt with. There was a code of conduct in the pyro unit. Part of it stipulated that no one was supposed to have a relationship with a cop or communicate with a cop. A person violating the code, even a leader, shall be dealt with immediately. Kuda's best friend Mavis, known in the hood as Mommy Mamba, was becoming more lethal than Remy. She said that things that she experienced in life made her mean. There were several times that Kuda had to stop Mavis from utilizing her sniper skills against people who wronged her in life.
Mamba, you can't unalive people that you don't like. The police would investigate the crime, and everything will lead back to you.
Mamba looked at Kuda like she said a bad word.
Why do you have this motherly attitude? You can't tell me what to do. In event of it leading back to me, I'll stand my ground.
Now, Mamba, you know that I'm definitely not trying to be your mother, and at the end of the day, it's you that will make the decision to do what you want. I just thought as a friend, I should warn you of repercussions of what you want to do.
Okay, it's cool. I understand.
Nonetheless, Kuda no longer trusted Mamba. Her eyes and her response were indicators that she had to watch her back. Being a trained sniper, Mamba had gotten carried away. Her lack of remorse and her ruthless battle against the Black Roses girl gang has made her a callous person that definitely could not be trusted. Underground, she was hired to carry out hits. Kuda was beginning to feel uncomfortable around her. Mamba noticed that Kuda was distant, and she one day addressed the issue.
Are you upset with me, Kuda?
Why you ask me that? I have a lot on my mind, that's all.
Tell me about it.
I'm good. I can handle it.
Mamba gave Kuda a menacing look that would scare a beast.
Oh, so we keeping secrets now?
What is wrong with you, Mamba? I'm not keeping secrets. Don't start that.
Kuda walked away from Mamba and never communicated with her again. Days later, Kuda received a call from Piper. She said that Remy wanted to meet with her regarding an important matter. Quickly, Kuda dressed, but she was reluctant about meeting with Remy. What did they want her for? That was the question that flooded her mind. When she arrived, Piper and Wind were standing outside talking. Immediately when they saw Kuda, Wind got on her phone and made a call. Every fiber in her body made Kuda nervous. She was unaware of what could be going on. When Kuda exited her car, Piper and Wind escorted her to the basement. She knew that something was wrong. Entering a back room, Kuda noticed Mamba sitting in a chair and facing Remy. The leader of the gang was sitting in her queen's chair that sat on a platform. This was for her to appear as a judge. Remy looked at Kuda as if she was very angry. To get familiar with the situation and to fight against the fear that gripped her, she greeted everyone present, including Mamba. Kuda was going to sit down in the other chair facing Remy, but Remy insisted that she continue to stand.
Kuda, do you know what this meeting is about?
No, I don't understand what's going on. What's up?
Remy held up a bag and asked Kuda a question.
Whose bag is this?
It's my bag.
Immediately, Remy emptied the contents on her desk. Money and drugs were displayed in front of everyone in the room. The fear that she felt on the way to the meeting intensified. Kuda knew that she had to defend herself.
What's the meaning of this?
Remy responded with an air of suspicion and anger.
You tell me. This is your bag. You stole from me? I count my money every day to make sure that I'm not a penny short. Then someone started messing with my money and then my stuff was coming up short. I blame you for all of this.
Look, Remy, that's my bag, but I would never steal from you. You have to believe me.
I don't have to believe you. Mamba told me that you left this bag at her house Friday night. That's the same time that I saw discrepancies with my money and the products. I can't have a Judas in my crew.
Do you think that if I stole the money, I would be standing here before you? I would have been long gone. I would not have been bold enough to stay in town.
Remy looked at Kuda as if she was considering what she said. Then she posed a question to Mommy Mamba.
Are you telling me the truth about this, Mamba? This is a serious situation, and if you are lying to me, it will not be good for you.
I told you that she was going to deny it. I found the bag when I was cleaning up a bedroom in my house. I live alone, so who else could have done it but her? I have no reason to lie. I thought that it was more than right to let you see what was going on behind your back. My loyalty is to the crew.
Remy listened intently to Mamba and then she turned her attention to Kuda.
Kuda, I'm the kind of person that if someone stole anything from me, I don't give second chances. I make an example of them right away.
Kuda commenced to crying.
You gotta believe me. I did not steal from you.
Remy narrowed her eyes at Kuda.
I don't need to do nothing but handle this money situation. Plus, one of my CIs said that you were talking to a cop.
Again, Kuda felt the need to defend her honor.
Why is this all happening? Where is the CI? So I can straighten this out. Cops are stopping and asking everybody about what happened to Shorty, who was found unalive in the park. They found his body. And the man that asked me questions said that he was unalive brutally. I told that man that I didn't know anything. Since then, he's been following me like I committed the crime.
Sitting back in her chair, Remy gave Kuda an unbreakable stare.
End of discussion, baby girl. It's time for you to fall asleep. One day I'll see you on the other side.
All of a sudden, there was a sound of gunfire. Kuda felt the bullets penetrate her body. She fell to the floor and her eyes were fixated on a ceiling light. Then the darkness. She found herself in a dark place, but she was able to see the spirits of people long gone. These were people who were gangsters from different gangs. They all appeared emaciated and in agonizing pains. Some faces looked familiar. They were individuals who were unalive recently and years prior. Kuda was terrified. She had to find a way out of this place. As she walked among the dearly departed, she saw former members of the Pyro crew. They were unalive by order of Remy, and Kuda had a feeling that somehow Mamba was responsible for their demise. The dark area was so cold, and she saw nothing but blackness beyond. Kuda began to feel the same despair as the occupants. Then a woman approached her. The lady was frail and looked very sad.
Young lady, you need to leave. You don't belong here.
What is this place?
It's called the Void because it's nothing but outer darkness here. There's miles and miles of darkness. There are things that hides in the darkness that's so terrifying.
Kuda became afraid.
Things like what?
These are beings that are so threatening, so vile in nature, and evil that you have no choice but to tolerate whatever they do. They know that you're here. There's no hope for us, but there's hope for you. You don't look like us yet, so hurry. Go. Please. If they get a hold of you, you won't be able to leave.
Then the woman was pulled away as if a vacuum cleaner sucked her in. Kuda looked around and began to walk through the dark abode. She didn't know any scriptures or any prayers. So she just kept saying,
Jesus help me. Jesus help me. Jesus please help me.
In the meantime, Nick Caprioni, who was a police officer, began experiencing dreams about Kuda. He thought that he was dreaming that she would come into his bedroom and wake him up.
Who are you? Why are you waking me? What is it that you want?
Oh, good. You can see me?
Yes, I can see you.
I need you to help me. I'm in a dark, cold place. I was unalive.
This can't be happening to me. I pray when I wake up, throughout the day and before I go to bed. This must be a dream. If this is a dream, I need to pinch myself so I can wake up. I've been watching too many horror movies.
Nick pinched himself, but Kuda was still standing at the end of his bed. She shrugged and smiled a little. Yet the man was distraught.
This can't be happening.
Yes, sir, this is happening.
Oh, my grandmama told me that I had this gift, but I didn't believe her. Look, lady, I don't feel comfortable talking to ghosts. That's called necromancy, and I don't want no other spirits in my place. I just got this apartment.
I'm not here to scare you or cause any trouble. I just want you to know that I lay in wait for justice to be served on my behalf.
What is your name?
My name is Felicity Holmes, but I'm known on the streets as Kuda.
Well, Felicity or Cuba, whatever they call you, why don't you go to the precinct and ask for Officer Williams? You can tell him everything that happened. Yeah, tonight he's on duty.
Sir, I can't just go to anyone. I just happened to arrive here. A part of me is alive somewhere, but I want those responsible for unaliving me to go to jail. Please help me. Please.
Okay. I'll take your statement.
Officer Caprioni gathered pen and paper. He listened intently as Kuda told him all that occurred. He wrote down everything.
Okay. I'll look into it. I have a few hours to sleep before I get up to go to work. Please go to wherever you be at. I'm sleepy.
As you wish, but I'll be back.
Kuda left the officer's house. She walked down the street passing people who could not see her. She also saw evil spirits. She was so terrified as she saw these creatures possessing people. Kuda never questioned the reality of evil spirits or the realm of the spirits. She backed away slowly. She saw a bright light and she walked towards it, but it disappeared. She continued to walk, and the streets became darker. Hours later, Officer Caprioni ran Felicity's name. He saw that she did minor crimes, but nothing too major. She was arrested several times for fighting, but she seemed to be staying out of trouble. Then he looked up the other names that she gave to him. He found that they were violent offenders. Most of their files were flagged as potential suspects in various crimes which left fatalities. Remarkable was the information that the officer found. He found that these were cold cases that he was looking at. Kuda also told him of the officer that was following and kept questioning her. Upon research and extensive police undercover work, Officer Caprioni found out that the officer in question was a sergeant at their precinct. Sergeant Cornelius Fraley was being investigated by Internal Affairs. To add insult to injury, this same sergeant was dating Mavis. They both were lying on gang members so that Remy would order that they are unalive. They were setting her up to be arrested for murder. Remy would not see it coming. The officer returned home and found Kuda to be sitting on his couch. She scared him.
Kuda or Cuba, we need to stop meeting this way.
It's Kuda. It's short for Barracuda. They used to call me that because I was known for biting when I fight.
Okay. Well, I found out that the officer that was following you and kept asking you questions is a sergeant at the same place I work. His name is Cornelius Fraley. He's under the watchful eyes of Internal Affairs. He's dating Mavis or Mommy Mamba, and I believe at her request, they had intentions for him to talk to you and follow you for a reason. They wanted you to look like a snitch, and the minute that anything occurred, you were going to be the blame for it. I have more to do, but I will help you.
Thank you, Officer Caprioni.
You bet. Hey, why did you get involved with people like Mamba and Remy? Remy is ruthless and Mamba is a snake just like her nickname.
It's a very long story, but I will tell you this. I was running away from a bad and abusive situation. Remy saw the severity of my problem, and she helped me.
She helped you, but it was at a cost. I'll tell you what I did. I shared my findings with a friend of mine who's an FBI agent. Although investigators from Internal Affairs are investigating Sergeant Fraley, there are some people that are a part of that division that cannot be trusted. I also mentioned that your former friend may have been the assailant for a lot of the unsolved homicides. If she has unalive a lot of people, she will be considered a serial killer. Some crimes becomes the FBI jurisdiction.
All of a sudden, Kuda began to suddenly start to fade away.
Oh no. What's happening to me?
Officer Caprioni saw that Kuda was slowly disappearing.
I don't know. What should I do?
Kuda faded away completely. She was no longer in the officer's house. She was in a wooded area and the darkness made it difficult for her to see. It was extremely quiet, but she knew that she was not completely alone in that area. Kuda felt that she was being watched. In her mind, it may be a predator waiting for the proper time to attack her. Then she saw a building ahead. It was a safe haven. Kuda saw a small church just a few feet away. She thought to herself, if she could make it inside, perhaps she would be safe. As she neared the church, the door opened voluntarily. Upon seeing this, Kuda was apprehensive, but she had to hide somewhere for safety reasons. She entered the sanctuary. No one was in the church and the silence was eerie. She did not want no one to know that she was hiding in the church. Without warning, an angel appeared before her. He was human in appearance, but she could tell that he was an angel. He had wings.
Hello, Felicity Holmes. I'm a messenger and I'm here to tell you that your time is short. You have to decide what you want to do.
Who are you? What's your name?
That's not important to know my name. Your time is short, and you have to decide if you will seek revenge, or will you make the necessary change so you could live.
I have been betrayed, and those are some dangerous women. I don't want to live that life. No more. They murdered me.
Well, you are still alive, and you can return to your body. You can be saved.
Where should I go? How can I do that?
Your body is currently lying in an open grave in Riverview Cemetery next to Ronald Rudolph's coffin. You have to hurry because you will expire if you don't get there in time. Once you locate your body, your spirit will return to its rightful place. Remember the decision you have made and don't return to the life you once lived. When you enter the cemetery, you will feel cold, but as you start feeling warm, you are near your body.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
The angel disappeared right before Kuda. It scared her so, and she knew that one day she would tell the story of meeting an angel. She returned to Officer Caprioni's house. He was sitting on his couch and watching television. When she appeared, she scared him.
You can't keep scaring me by just popping up unexpectedly. You are very spooky.
I'm sorry. My time is short. I found out that I've been placed in an open grave in Riverview Cemetery. I need your help. I feel weak.
Come on. Let's go right now. Then I'm taking you to the hospital.
Officer Caprioni drove to the location of Riverview Cemetery. He was reluctant to enter a graveyard at night, but he had to find Kuda's body. Kuda walked beside him, and immediately when she entered the cemetery she felt cold. They continued to walk until she started feeling warm. She was near her body.
I found Ronald Rudolph's grave and it is open. This is so sacrilegious. Kuda, I see your body.
Kuda was upset to find that her attackers had discarded her body in an open grave. The coffin of Ronald Rudolph was weathered and battered. They saw the partial remains of the decedent. The grave of Ronald Rudolph was probably disturbed by grave robbers. Yet Kuda didn't know what to do next.
I don't know what to do.
I know that you're not going to like my suggestion, but it's worth a try.
What is your suggestion?
I can lower you down into the grave and you lie on top of your body. Maybe that will be the way for you to enter back into your body.
Kuda agreed with Officer Caprioni.
Okay, let's do this.
Officer Caprioni lowered Kuda into the open grave. She was reluctant, but she laid on top of her body. Nothing happened. She looked confused.
Nothing is happening.
Maybe there's something that you need to do.
Like what?
I have no idea. Wait a minute. This may be the issue. Driving here, I had the feeling that you wanted revenge for what they did to you. Let it go. Don't seek revenge because God has given you another chance. Do you understand?
Yes, I understand. It's going to be hard, but I choose to forgive.
Immediately, her spirit returned to her body. She coughed, and the officer managed to remove the wounded woman from the open grave. He took her to the hospital instantly. At once, Kuda was taken into surgery. Later, she was listed in stable condition and Officer Caprioni visited her a lot. She recovered and the officer removed her things from her apartment to where Kuda was now living. She moved 3 states away and she remained in touch with Officer Caprioni. He informed her that Remy and 2 other women caught Mavis Mommy Mamba and Officer Fraley going into her house. Remy was very upset and they got into the house. No one survived but Remy and she is currently on the run. She is wanted in connection for the homicides. Felicity chose not to be called Kuda anymore. She said that her nickname was linked to a life of crime. She now attends church a lot. She wants to know about this man named Jesus who had a team of disciples but were not a gang. She had to learn that not everybody is a part of a gang. Felicity has survived a terrifying experience, but she lived to share her testimony. Are you a survivor? Meanwhile, Remy checked into an undisclosed motel. Remy stood in the motel bathroom looking at herself in the mirror. A beautiful woman with no remorse and selfish. Not thinking about the lives she damaged and the families that she hurt. As she walked out the bathroom, to her horror, she saw Piper and Wind.
Hello, Remy.
You are quite the team player, Remy. You left us hanging and you took all the money we acquired. You see that, Piper?
I see that, Wind. She didn't even stay behind to see if we still had a pulse.
I thought you two were gone. I thought Mamba and her detective boyfriend shot the 2 of you. Besides, you all know the rules. I don't leave evidence. I burn down crime scenes. I thought the 2 of you were unalived. How could this be? The 2 of you here in my motel room.
Now we have a revelation for you. We are soul takers. We were sent to get you off track, commit bad deeds, cause confusion, and muster up hatred in your heart.
Time is up and we are here to collect.
Remy was frightened as she heard the revelation and she screamed.
Hell is real. Unfortunately, people do not believe it until they reach their last mile and is sentenced for their transgressions. It is vital that you have a close relationship with God, study the Bible, pray without ceasing, and walk in forgiveness. However, if you put the pleasures of the world before God, then you will come here. It is easy to come here, but it is hard to get out. Please take heed. How unfortunate for Remy. There is no place to run and no place to hide.
Hi, Remy. I was expecting you. Welcome to my world. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Remember that the spectator is watching you to add a new tale to the creepy tales.